Come back to a new dev update. This is July 1st, 2022, and there's quite a bit to cover, and I know that these tend to go fairly long, so I'll try and make them as make this one as short as possible. So let's dive into it. So the first thing that you might notice is that I've got a 20 slot tool belt. There is an optional modlet in the optional modlet folder to include these. I've got the ultra wide screen one on because my screen is ultra wide and I do enjoy seeing the bigger icons. And if you want to access the, let's say we wanted to access this, you just press the Shift 7. You see some identifiers at the bottom, S7 for this one. So that should make it easier for you guys. The other thing to consider is picking up of items. So if you hold E on some blocks, you'll be able to take them. For example, this tire will be used for some crafting. Let's see, yeah, crafting recipes. Other things such as these barrels, whether these or those are, the containers have to be empty for you to take them. But if you were to take this one, for example, I believe that this one is required for you to make some crafting stations. Yeah. So you can essentially do the same thing with the fridge. Even though it's a broken version, it'll give you a working one. And this pile of 3 tires will essentially give you 3 tires. You can do the same thing with these containers. These small piles usually get destroyed, but I let you take them in case you want some more themed containers in your base, so that you can say, well, all my ammo is in this pile. You can pick up this trunk. So essentially, any container that you find, you'll be able to use. The next thing, I've added some more boss events. I won't go through those because they are random anyway. The other thing to look at is the hiring of survivor has been gated by charismatic nature. So at level 1, you'll be able to hire 1 survivor. If we were to spawn one in, let's say we get the crossbow one, and I want to hire him, you'll see that it says that you can't hire anymore because I need to increase the charismatic nature. So if I wanted to do that, right now, charismatic nature level 1 requires charisma level 2. So we'll use some DNA boosts to get our charisma to level 2. If I've improved the tool belt messages. Oftentimes, whenever you were to use some items in the game, whatever items and you can't, it'll just give you an unhelpful message saying you can't use this at this time. Okay, but why? So what I've done is I've changed it so that you can actually see a little bit more information as to why. So my level in charisma is not high enough. Now that it is, I'll use this. Perfect. So now I'm at charisma 1. And I can hire him. There we go. So we've got 1 hire. So that's if you were to get another one. So let's say we get an auto shotgun person. You'll see I have to increase it again. So it's a way to limit how many survivors you get. It can get pretty crazy, especially once you get into multiplayer. I've also reintroduced the sous chefs. Sous chef is right here, robotics. So you'll be able to craft these mechanical allies. So I've essentially used this as a way to spawn them in, and there you go. These guys will go and help you out if we were to have a bunch of bikers. Go and shock all of them. Yeah, why aren't you participating? So, we'll kill all these guys off. Well, how about I spell it the right way? And then the next thing we can look at is the Witch Doctor's Horror Panther. So the Horror Panther was just like any other pet before. Spawn in a few bikers, and now it will have a chance to turn. See, it just turned this one who's now fighting on our side. So every so often it just gets a chance to do that. So that's covered. Next thing to look at is Briston's inventory has been changed somewhat.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
I'm over level 15, so I've got so let's see. I already have contract, so I won't worry about it. So let's get back to. See, there are no more DNA boosts in his inventory. The way to get DNA boosts right now, you'll get some rewards from vanilla trader quests, or whenever there are events, you get a chance to spawn a crate that would contain them. They are also no longer part of the starter missions because people were abusing them. They were just doing them over and over again. So that's just something to consider. So whenever you do we want to do shortcuts right now? Oh, the next one I want to show you is healing factor. So healing factor, we can go into genetics. There we go. So healing factor now gives you access to unlock what's called the quick heal shortcut, which I've added a whole bunch of shortcuts to the game. So there's the N key for that. If I was to use it right now, I press on the N key, it'll say I have to invest in healing factor. So let's go ahead and do that. I believe I need to bring it up to level 2. Let's do that. Yeah. And then let's... Constitution. Oh, it's not intelligence, it's constitution. See? It's where these messages become useful. So let's put this up to level 2. Oh, we got an event here. Let's kill this guy for a second. Right, it's done. So I'll show you what will happen if I was to get the loot box from this event. And actually, right now, I have some bandages on me. So let's just check. Yeah, I have some on me. So the quick heal will, in this first level, we'll go check to see if I have some bandages on me, and we'll use them. So all I have to do is press the N key, and I haven't actually read healing factor. There we go. Now I'll press the N key, and it'll heal me without me having to switch over to some bandages. So it's a perk from using healing factor that is definitely useful, and what happens is that as you level up in healing factor, no screamer. Of course you scream. Alright, so in this loot, see, you get a chance of getting some melee weapons, which should help you, and a chance at a DNA boost, but in this case, we didn't get any. And we can just kill everyone around us. So again, if you were to look at the healing factor, originally it'll just use up in this level 1 bandages, first aid bandages, honey. So if I had some honey, for example, I'm infected right now. So let's get some honey, put some honey in our inventory. It doesn't matter if it's here or if it's in the tool belt, and then I'll press this and it'll actually treat my infection. You can see here it used up 1 honey and 1 bandage. So that's another advantage of using healing factor and these shortcuts, is that it will treat anything it can treat as long as you have the drugs to treat those. Now, in terms of his inventory, I've also added training supplies. So if you were using a class and you wanted to switch over to another class, it is expensive, but you can do so. So switching to another class will keep all your stats kind of dormant for the current class in case you wanted to switch back. And let's see, I think it's the trainer. So I've added a new class called the Berserker. So let's look at this new class. So we'll get the trainer for the Berserker. And he will hold some global aura reset books. And what this does is whenever you reach class level 6 and you get to pick a couple of these auras, eventually if you're not happy with those, you can always go back to this guy, buy one of these books, it is expensive, and reset your auras. Now, in terms of the shortcuts, so we talked about the end key. Now I'm a Berserker, and Berserker has a couple of things. Let's move out of the way, these guys, so that they don't assist us. If I had, again, a few bikers, the page down key, the Berserker has a few skills. One is the rage skill, which will make him go faster and hit harder, etc. We can look at all of that whenever you play, but I can use the page down key to trigger what's called the defensive rage. So this will knock them down, and you'll see for 18 seconds here, well, whatever was there, I get to attack faster. I get to do more damage. My stamina is also going to regenerate faster. So yeah. So I'm bleeding, press N to use the quick heal so that I'm not bleeding anymore. This is another advantage of having this shortcut. Now that's the defensive rage, and you see there's a cooldown of 4 minutes because it is free. You can use it whenever you want to. But let's go into God mode to get rid of the cooldown. And as long as I have rage capsules, I can either use them straight from my toolbar if I want to, or there's a shortcut, which is the page up key. So it's going to be the same thing, but the difference is that my trainer will come and help me out, and the rage will last longer. So my trainer's there. The good thing about the trainer is that every hit he does will knock them down. So it does help quite a bit. Oh, these explosive immune ones are dangerous because they can ragdoll you. So that's, see, he left because I'm a level 1, tier 1 Berserker, so he doesn't stay very long. As you level your class, then they will stay longer. So let's kill everyone around. So that's for the shortcut for the Berserker, and I'll let you test that out. He has a Rage Panther, which has the similar ability. Once you trigger Rage, see, I've got another 17 seconds. I don't know if it's every 20, 30 seconds or so, he does trigger that knockdown area of effect, which also deals damage. Now, so we talked about the quick heal. We talked about the 2 different rages. If I were to pick the Witch Doctor and train that, the page down is also useful for using the brew. So if I had a scythe, for example, let's just take the sickle, and I had a whole bunch of bikers, and I wanted to use my brew so that I can turn some of them. And it's the same thing. It's the page down key, which will be a shortcut to drinking your brew. So you get the picture there. You can kill these guys off. The next thing is there are a couple of new. Let me get on top of a roof somewhere. maybe this here. When you're at your base, which is essentially close to Briston, and you're level 30, then you're going to get a chance of getting Seekers. So I'm gonna spawn a couple of them, maybe a 1 and a 3. I want to kill off Briston because he's going to. Well, no, actually they'll seek me out, and what they do is they essentially have explosive damage that they deal once in a while. So you have to be careful. See, they're kind of wrecking. They can wreck your base. You have to really be careful. So they seek you out. If they get stuck, it's not too big of an issue because they'll eventually blow up the blocks that are next to them. But they don't focus on anyone who's shooting them, really. They'll just focus on whatever is wherever you are. I don't know where they are right now. Oh, there. Just have to be careful. See, they can do quite a bit of damage. So we'll kill everything around. So that's the Seeker, starting at level 30, and then there's the Wraith. So let's do a level 1. Should be good enough. So the Wraith has a protective shield. So if you were to try to damage it, so let's say I try to damage it from here. See, it takes no damage. You need to find a way for that shield to go down. So let's resume. And there are two ways. It's either whenever they see they shoot this and it'll spawn some skeletons. So either when they do that, they'll all of a sudden become vulnerable, but then the shield will go up shortly after. See, and you have to be careful with these guys, especially if you're on a rooftop, because you can spawn some of these guys on your roof, right? So you see, I can't do that. Then I'll let them hit me, and see, they're open to damage. So let's kill this guy off. Let's see what he has. See, so he's got a protection shield. So this protection shield is another shortcut. You can use the home key to essentially start it. So I've got a protection shield. If I was to get a biker to try and hit me, he deals no damage, essentially. So I've got this protection shield as long as I want, so long as I take no action. If I try to heal, if I try to use an attack, then it'll go off. See, it's gone now. So he can damage me again. I've had to remove the start it again. I've had to remove the ability to see it in first person. You can see it in third person, but in first person it just the screen was just too blurry. So that's for these. So let's kill this guy. So we talked about the shield, we've talked about the healing. The other thing is the mercenaries. So the mercenaries no longer come in if you get damaged too much. You get to trigger them on your own, and it's the insert key. So you press insert. Oh, did I not read? Yeah. So that's another thing. Again, I've tried to make these messages as meaningful as possible. So now I'm protected, and now I can press the insert key, and there you go. He spawns in. Let's see, what else? Misery is in by default. So Ascension, Downfall, Natural Selection. If I was to look at... so let's kill some things, or let's level. Can I give myself a level? Right, so let's check our Ascension. So I'm Ascension level 4. So they have a chance to be fire immune. Actually, let's give ourselves like a lot of XP. 116, where am I at now? This will be 165. So we're 300. we're fairly high now. Well, I think we're at the max, actually. So at this level, I should be able to get, let's see. Sure where I'm at now. Yeah, I'm at 10. So 10, they have a chance to be fire immune, shock immune, toxic, etc. So let's spawn some in. Let's stop the, let's pause everything, sorry. And let's spawn a whole bunch of bikers. And let's go to nighttime. So 060000. Oh, okay, of course they died. So it's spawn 25. They can look at me. There we go. And now what will happen is you'll notice they have some particles on their hands, which will indicate what they actually will deal in terms of damage. So this would be shock, this would be radiation poisoning, and this would be fire. So it's a lot easier to see during the nighttime. If I unpause them, you'll see those moving quite a bit. So yeah, see, this one can deal shock and radiation. This one is fire and radiation. So there's quite a bit of variety, and the higher you go in Ascension, the worse it gets, obviously. So let's go back to our normal time, kill all these guys. There we go. So that's it for Misery. I've added some robots and some cyborgs. If you look at cyborg, let's say we take this one. Oh, we've got 25 of those. Sorry, let's kill those all. Let's try that again. So we'll do one of these guys. We'll do one of these guys. And them, and then robots. Okay, this guy. So this guy is of the bandit faction, and the rogue ones and the robots are from different factions. So if I was to go in spectator mode, they go and attack each other.
Acquired.
So you heard a little cue, audio cue. That's a way for them to let you know that they're here. So we'll kill them all. Go back into, and then they have a chance to have some. So they've got like robotic parts or parts that you'd expect, and they have a chance of giving you gunpowder for some. Some might be bullet casings, and I think there are bullet tips for others. Yeah, and then they have a chance to drop some rare ores like diamonds or gold nuggets, etc. It's the same thing for the seekers. If you were to kill a seeker, you'd have a chance at some ores, which are necessary from some of the crafting. The other thing to look at is all the different foods. The different foods will now have some benefits. So blueberry pie, for example, will give you an increase of 25% in loot stage for a minute. And if you invest in iron guts, then it'll add duration to it. And the sous chef will get additional bonuses for that. So the cheesecake would be increased experience, and I won't go through all of them because you can look at those yourself. Now, the last thing I think, well, the two things I want to cover. Let's go with the bicycle first. So if I was to, let's heal up just a second. If I was to spawn in, again, I like my bikers. And beyond here, you get some protection, a little bit of protection, which is actually interesting. So the vehicles will protect you up to a certain point, which I think by default is not in there. So you have to be careful because at some point they might be able to damage the vehicles. And then the next thing would be, I don't think I attacked him. So as long as I don't attack him, I've got this zombie putty here. And the zombie putty, essentially, you'll see the buff. We've got 58 seconds. He'll come up to me, but he won't attack me. So it's a little bit like in Walking Dead, where you can put some zombie guts on you and walk amongst them. So it's the same situation. I can have a ton of these guys, and they won't attack me as long as I've got the putty, and I can reset the timer. But if I do attack one of them, then it just essentially it won't work for that one that attacked me, that I attacked. So I have to be careful. I just don't know which one in that pile. Like there's so many. So let's kill them all. So if I was to, I'll just get rid of that putty. If I was to hit this guy and then have the putty, I don't think that this guy, I'll have to see. No, see, the putty doesn't work on this guy. It'll work on this one. See, he won't attack me, but this guy, because I attacked him, knows that I'm a little bit of an issue. And then when the putty wears off, then any one of them can attack me. So it's a good way to get through some hordes, or if you got a lot of loot and you're encumbered, to move away from danger. At least zombies. This would only affect zombies. And with that, I think, let me see. I think I covered pretty much everything. Yeah. So hope you enjoy this release, and I'll see you in the next one.